Hey, Tribe Builders, this is Tanya Rooney, and I've got a different kind of episode for you today. Doing a solo show, and it sparked because of two things. One, I didn't have a show or like a guest to actually have, and it was kind of last minute because I was at a conference. But then, second, it's because I saw a Facebook post and I really want to talk about it. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm just going to read you this Facebook post and then I'm going to kind of talk through some of the things that I said to this person as well as like why I think these things are important. And perhaps once you hear the post, you're going to understand why I think this has any merit to talk about. This gal said in one of the Facebook groups I'm part of, I feel like my business is destroying my relationships. My family, my friends, my partner, they don't understand the entrepreneur world and it just feels so lonely. I have no one I can really celebrate with, and because I don't have a team, there's no one to bounce ideas off. I feel like I'm losing my friends and myself. I'm missing that connection which I had before. Running a business feels so much heavier without that support. How do you save your relationships? How do you make your friends and family understand what you're doing? So, this thing is littered with emotions that I completely understand. I totally get when it does feel really lonely. And I think that's kind of the spirit of why I started Tribe Builders, is because I don't like this bums me out. This person is clearly having a rough time and she's sharing a lot of things that are probably happening in her business, but she is looking at it from a point of view that I personally wouldn't look at it. But this is the reason that we have other entrepreneur friends so that we can kind of understand that it's not necessarily about, like, the first thing I think of is like it's not your job to actually make your family and your friends understand business. Like, that's not, they don't care. They don't want to, like, some of them care, but they don't want to build a business. They don't care about the struggles that you have in the same way. They like status quo. And I've found that those relationships are important to keep status quo, in the way that you don't have to talk about business to your friends and family. Um, they don't necessarily even want to ask you questions about it. Like, the amount of questions I get about real estate, they're not necessarily from friends and family, which I don't think is bad. Like, it's not like they don't ask me anything. It's just they don't understand, like, raising, $300,000 for a house, or they don't understand like some of the problems that I have. And I think that's okay. Like, you're still going to find people that do have that, like maybe in your family and friend group, especially, like, I call them my friends from back home. I moved away from the town that I grew up in. Um, I still talk to college friends. I still talk to high school friends. I still talk to grade school friends. But those friends were people that were proximity. Like, I didn't really have a choice, and I would still choose them because they're great. But you don't necessarily need to have the same conversations with people from back home. You might want to talk about, like, even 20 years later, you might want to talk about the high school football team or the high school volleyball team or like softball or something. You want to talk about what's going on with your friends and your family. They probably have siblings. So you can keep those conversations and that way of life that you've always had with them. You can keep that status quo. You don't have to do all the same things you've always done with them, but as you grow into a business role, you don't necessarily want to hang out just with those people anymore. And it's because they have their goals. Like, they have their families, they have all these things that they're doing, and maybe they have a 9 to 5 job that they're working hard at, or that they really just want to check out from. Like, they don't actually care. They just wait for the clock and then they go home and live the rest of their life. Whereas I think when you're a business person, now it's all consuming. Like, you're in this thing to build this business to make something cool. Like, it's not your job to make people understand why you want to be in business. It's your job to make a super cool business, build it, and potentially hire people. Like, whatever your goal is, like, that's your job now. And it's not necessarily for everybody to understand. So the kinds of things that I had started talking about when I messaged this gal back and just said, hey, um I actually see this as, you need entrepreneur friends. Like, you you can find friends and create small groups, and you can literally bounce ideas off of those people. That's like one of the things that she said is she doesn't have anybody to bounce the ideas off. Well, there's tons of business people out there, and it's kind of funny because she's in a Facebook group for entrepreneurs. So she has like hundreds of people to choose from. There might actually be thousands of people in this group. It's really, really big. But I think figuring out like, I need to bounce ideas off of it. So finding out what kinds of ideas do you need to bounce off? Are they very industry specific, or are they just general business ideas? Because those are options for things that you need. And she talked about she doesn't have anybody to celebrate with. The first time that you make, I don't know, like $40,000, maybe in one check, depending on what your business is, or maybe you make like 10 sales every single day for a week and you've never done that before. Your old friends, I'm going to call them your old friends because they're from your past life or this other version of you. Your old friends aren't necessarily going to understand. They don't know the feeling it is when you are working so hard. Maybe you're staying up till 11 p.m. every single night to try to get this thing off the ground. They don't understand what it means to like all of a sudden get a check for $10,000 or to get 10 sales every single day for a week. They don't get that because they don't even have the entrepreneurship in their head that they care about. So they don't know how to celebrate. They're just like, yeah, that's super cool. But you need somebody that's like, oh my God, this is so great. I remember that feeling. Congratulations. Like, do you see the two differences of like support and then super support? And you can find that with people that also have businesses. Like, again, that's the really cool part about business is there's so many people out there that are interested in this too. Like, you're going to have people from your old life being interested in the stuff that you're doing, but some of it is just like it's surface level, or it's they want to do that too, which are two different. Those are different situations. Whereas if you find peer groups, like peer groups are my favorite part about business, is you can find people either with businesses or with the same kind of business. Like I'm in short-term rentals. Most of you know that by now, and I have short-term rental friends I talk to every single day. I talk about this all the time that my husband, Matt, will always support me. If I'm irritated about what a guest did or what they said, or I'm excited about what this guest just said, whatever it is, he's always going to be on my side because that's what he did. He's a supportive human. That's what he does. She's like, yeah, I'm mad at that guest too. Or yeah, that's so cool. This is why we get into this. But if you say, those kinds of comments to, your peer group, they're going to tell you, hey, you're complaining a lot about these guests. Like, who cares? Like, what's the real problem? Or they're going to say, yeah, let it roll off your back. Get over it. Let's keep going here. We've got more things to do in short-term rental land. And those are the kinds of people, those are those differences that are really, really, they're a big deal because this is, I mean, she literally talked about how her business is destroying her relationships. Like, that's a really big, heavy sentence to say, but if you just change the people that you hang out with, it's not going to feel that way. It's going to feel like, oh, cool. I have these people that are supporting me. They're celebrating me. They're helping me with best practices. Like, I think the cool part about short-term rental land is I can ask 5 hosts what they would do. Like, I could literally send them a screenshot and be like, what would you do? You're going to get 5 variations of answers, and you get to make up your solution over those 5 plus your own. Like, you're gonna like find best practices. They're gonna make you a better business owner, which is really, really fun. And then you don't have to feel like you're losing your friends anymore because you're gaining new ones in a very different way. And it's a really cool thing. So like I think about again the spirit of tribe builders, and I think of like how great business is. Like, I'm excited about business every day because I get to talk to business people every single day. Like, that makes such a difference in my life, because if I just was talking to Matt about this stuff, like maybe I would have quit. Maybe he would be like, yeah, those guests are terrible, why are we even doing this? Well, if you talk to people that understand because they go through it and they know that bad guests aren't every time. It's like, I mean, I've been doing this for almost 5 years, and I can count on like one or two hands over hundreds and hundreds of bookings. I can count how many bad guests we've had. Like they're not lasting. It's not that big of a deal. So like literally you can convince yourself to be in business or not, but if you're around the right people, you're going to realize that you can just work a little bit harder, or you can let that stuff roll off your back, or maybe you need to make a pivot and your normal friends aren't going to know the kinds of pivots you need to make. So all that to say, this is the reason that tribes are so good. So I went on to let her know that, find people to talk business about, just leave your family and friends out of those conversations. And it's kind of just, it's lighter to not have to talk to them about that. So you can kind of compartmentalize your friend groups, because you just want to use them to like say like, hey, did you hear this new song on the radio? I really like it. Or maybe go up to the bar and have a drink or something. But then you have these business friends that you're going to talk real good about this. So then I went on to kind of let her know, like, I like to form accountability groups. I've done I've actually done an episode just about accountability groups because I like them so much. And it just means I'm finding 3 to 5 other business owners or aspiring business owners. One of those is fine in the group, and create a accountability group. And this could be just to talk shop every week. It could be to talk shop once a month. And whatever you want, it doesn't matter, but you can find people, like you're attracted to certain people posting in Facebook groups that you're already on, or people like maybe in a meetup that you have locally, or somebody that you just know. Like if you're in your small town and you know a couple business owners, you can ask them, or you can say like, how can I find these people? I actually am a pretty big cheerleader of Facebook for this reason, is you could go out there and post and say like, hey, I'm looking for a few business owners to talk with. But one of the easiest places to find them is definitely in a Facebook group already, like with a shared interest. Like it's either other business builders or other, I'm just going to keep using short-term rentals because that's the easiest way to do. But for real, if you just like jogging, if you have a Shopify, like, you have a retail store or like a retail online store, like all of that kind of stuff, you can find Facebook groups for all of this stuff. So you would jump into one of those groups and say, hey, I'm looking for 3 or 4 other business owners, and just to hop on a call every week. And you can have it be something that is actually structured, like an accountability group where you pick goals and you work towards those goals for 12 weeks. You can hop on a call. Like these are the things that I love to do. I love accountability groups. So you'd pick a goal, like each person picks a goal for the whole entire 12 weeks. And then you come up with 3 or 4 things that you need to do every single day or every single week, something that you commit to so that you'll hit that goal. And, or that, you're saying like, I'm working towards this goal, whatever that might look like. And then you would talk about that for just a couple of minutes per person every single week. And then after that, you just talk shop. You say like, hey, what's your wins and your challenges? Like we do, did you do the stuff that you said you were going to do? What are your wins? What are your challenges? And then we put the challenges in a parking lot. And then when we're done talking about, everybody says yes, no, wins, challenges. Then we say, okay, who needs help? Who wants actually to work on this thing? And now you all of a sudden have 4 other CEOs that are working on a problem with you. Like that is like the most beautiful part about business, is you can collaborate. And it doesn't necessarily have to be with the same kind of business person, or you could just have healthy collaboration with people locally that do have the same business problems, and you're working towards them together, because really there's so much business to go around out there. I know some people really like to hold things close and they don't want to collaborate, but you could also collaborate with people nationally. So, maybe you have a Shopify account in Minnesota and you're trying to figure some stuff out. Well, you could just find somebody in, Indiana that also has one. So they're not necessarily a competitor. I mean, Shopify, actually, everybody's your competitor, I guess, because you would do online retail sales. But you kind of know what I mean. So in short-term rental land, I don't have to collaborate with people locally because, hey, this person also has a 6-bedroom house. I could just collaborate with somebody that has 6-bedroom houses in Arizona and get advice from them and see like the differences in the way they do business. So this is the thing that I had told her, like, find yourself an accountability group. There's people all over the place that love to hop on calls and talk business. And I think once you start getting some momentum and you you feed off of it. You want to like talk to them every week. You can create a text string that goes with your accountability group. So if you have a problem in the middle, you can start talking about it, and you can get, you essentially are making friends. And spending 12 hours with somebody, so 1 hour every week for 12 weeks, like, you are going to definitely learn about them. You'll learn about lots of different pieces of other people, and know after the 12 weeks, if you need help with a certain thing, you know who to go to. Not everybody's good at social media, but you know that this gal Steph is really good at social media. So just, reach out to her when you need social media stuff. And this person is really, really good at hiring. So you would, reach out to Amy or to Wendy when you're hiring, because you know that they have really good, good ways to get people in the door, like that kind of stuff. So I'm just reading my notes here. So mainly, like, the thing that I'm trying to say is, like, it's not our job to make people understand why we do what we do. It's our job to build our business, to make it awesome, do all that kind of stuff, and find other people to bounce ideas off of, to celebrate with. You don't have to feel like you're losing your friends. Just keep your friends. You just need new friends. Like, I think the thing I've learned the most since I've started my entrepreneurship journey, and that was probably 7 or 8 years ago, is you have to have specific friends for each thing. And it doesn't mean you all of a sudden have to go find 15 new friends. You could just find one business friend, but the conversations are different. They're going to elevate you. The 5 people that you hang out with the most, it's really going to make or break what you do. Because if you're hanging out with people that only hang out in the bar, 4 days a week, you're probably going to be hanging out in the bar 4 days a week instead of working on your business during those times. If you hang out with people that play a lot of kickball, you're probably going to be out playing kickball. If you hang out with other business owners that are really excited about their business, and maybe not, like, there's still a healthy area of, like, complaining or venting about your business, but then you find those people that are like, oh, let's make lemonade with these lemons. And they want to, like, help you solve it. And they want to ask you questions like, if this wasn't hard, what would it look like? The kinds of conversations you can have, like, they're going to push you. So you got to find the right people, add them to your tribe, and, like, start doing. So I'm going to end this podcast saying, if you need help with something like this, reach out to me. I'm kind of working on some coaching stuff that I'm going to start helping people do this kind of stuff, because I think it's so important. And, like, I'm always willing to help people out with stuff like this. Like, I probably have a list of, like, this is how we find a tribe. I think I even have one. So reach out on Instagram, Tanya Rooney MN, and I would love to help out with stuff like this. So that was it for this week. Thank you for letting me ramble about how much I love tribes and how important I think this is. I hope you got something out of it. If there's anybody in your life that has a business that truly is, like, kind of solo, and they're not necessarily collaborating with anybody, send them my way, because I really want to be able to talk to them about stuff like this and say, hey, this is great. So send them my episode, whatever it is. And yeah, I hope you have a friggin' awesome week, and you make something happen that you didn't know was possible, because it is. Bye, guys.